The following is a presentation of the Pro Wrestling Report. Television, radio, internet, the world. Right here on demand right now at PWRshow.com. It's this week's edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Television. A full review of WWE WrestleMania 27 from Atlanta's Georgia Dome, the new WWE, and so much more, including the announcement of the main event for WrestleMania 28. Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Television starts right now. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Television. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Octavius the Tiberius, the Gladys Knights Chicken and Waffle Wings Hall of Famer.
How about that?
Welcome.
Oh, Hall of Famer twice.
Only one time I saw with these eyes he can verify.
Okay.
We're coming to you with our post-WrestleMania 27 edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime. David Hero, just back from Atlanta, Georgia, a couple of days ago. An amazing weekend. So many things to talk about. So many things we'll never talk about. But so many great fans we met, most importantly, in Atlanta, Georgia, for WrestleMania 27.
WrestleMania. Could you believe the atmosphere? The buzz, the hype, and that was just at Stats.
It was great fans from all over the world, literally, joining us at Stats for our PWR meetup, and fans joining us in the Sweet and Sexy as well. Several unadvertised guests, by the way, at both events. Katie Lee Burchell, winter of TNA Wrestling, joining us at Stats on
Amber
Saturday.
O'Neill
Amber O'Neill as well. ArenaChicks.com, let's not forget that.
Absolutely.
And also in the Suite on Sunday.
Who else had that?
Absolutely nobody.
Road Dogg, Jesse James, Brad Armstrong, X-Pac. It was absolutely tremendous.
And let alone, obviously, seeing the event that was WWE's WrestleMania 27, which we had a week-long marathon of Beat the Booker last week, David Hero. I think some things may have caught you a little bit off guard, but in general, the show came down to just about the way you saw it.
All that, not really. All that
I was trying to give you a little bit because there's no love for Hero this show.
Listen, all that matters was I got the DWHS right. Everything else is EPO. Let's not forget that. Right?
Unless you get it right. Yes, it's for EPO.
Absolutely. But the other great event was Linda Kay. How about that dress, huh?
How about that dress every day?
That was hashmark tremendous. That was hashmark, that's how rumors start. You know?
You mean that's how rumors started?
Started, yeah. Absolutely.
Speaking of rumors, you know what's interesting? Well, I won't try to get too high on a soapbox here, but, you know, we had a conversation the other day about some of these wrestling internet
stuff that was reported.
That things that happened that, had they happened, we'd have certainly seen it or had sometimes been a part of it. Mm-hmm. You know, fights that occurred that never happened.
I was with Matt Hardy and Rebby Sky. I didn't see any tough enough fight.
McMahon's not going to the after party.
We saw him down there.
So much stuff.
No, the best was X-Pac in the front row. He was sitting with us in the suite.
Right.
So, yeah.
But anyways, that's why you all know and are here already. The Pro Wrestling Report does not bring you bull crap. We bring you the real and the truth. And let's go that way now and talk about WrestleMania 27. David Hero, I would have to say we'd started off with the Hall of Fame ceremony on Saturday night, where we saw several inductees, including Sonny, Road Warriors, Shawn Michaels, the main event, obviously.
Bullet Bob Armstrong,
Abdullah the Butcher,
Hacksaw
Jim Duggan. A good event, a solid event. I got to commend 99.2% of the fans in Phillips Arena on Saturday night for showing respect, the respect that needed to be shown for that event during the acceptance speeches. Obviously, you got a few idiot jerk-offs who want to make noise and try to make noise when noise shouldn't be made. But overall, I would have to say that the disappointment of the night would have had to have been Sonny, and not all her fault. The Divas inducting her, which made no sense, but made a lot of sense. But her acceptance speech was, granted it was her night, but it was a lot about Sonny.
It was about Sonny. I mean, but it's Sonny's career, and she was the original diva.
She was.
She did something.
Some say Sable was.
Or some would say Miss Elizabeth.
Or some would say Sensational Sherry was.
No, I would say it's Miss Elizabeth started it. Sonny took the ball and ran with it.
Sonny took the valet title to diva status, in my opinion.
Absolutely. But you know what? I mean, it's the Hall of Fame. It's their night. They can say whatever they want, except wrestling and wrestling fans.
We'll get to that later. We're going to talk about the new WWE.
Unless you're Abdullah Butcher, you just talk for like 30 seconds and be done. Thank God Terry Funk was there for Abdullah the Butcher.
I thought Abdullah the Butcher's acceptance speech, and you'll be able to see all this when the WrestleMania 27 DVD comes out, I thought his acceptance speech was concise, it was emotional, and it did what it needed to do for an audience who, quite frankly, many of them did not know who he was.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Dusty Rhodes with a little jab at the entire WWE locker room while inducting the Road Warriors into the Hall of Fame. Basically saying, pay attention because this is what made you, this is what brung you. And, Was
he talking to Cody?
No, he wasn't talking
Probably
to Cody.
Not.
I think.
Why would he?
Well, Linda was talking to Cody since you pussed out.
No.
You pussed out. You had that seat next to Cody Rhodes, and Linda ended up in the fourth row sitting next to Cody Rhodes.
Stop.
Collaborate and listen.
We talked about this Friday night.
I don't remember anything from Friday night.
Well, that's fine. I do.
I remember a Briscoe.
Yeah, one up in the car. But they says, Dave, listen, we know you got the great seat. You're going to be sitting next to Cody. But, dude, you're 6'5". We want to make our superstars look like superstars. Do you mind sitting back a couple more rows? So I'm like, well, there's only one person shorter than Cody, and that's Linda Kay. So, how about that? You know what? That's me being the good guy. I could have gone into business for myself and made it to be something ridiculous and bury the little guy, but I don't. I make him look good by putting Linda Kay next to him. You don't see. That's what a true superhero does.
Clearly, Cody Rhodes did not need you to make him look like a superstar because he did that the next night at WrestleMania.
Really?
Continuing talking about the Hall of Fame, Road Warrior, Animal, and Precious Paul Ellering, also with a lengthy but a very well-delivered speech.
Yeah, you know what? There's the part that is there's so much more history to the Road Warriors than what they talked about. I thought they did a great job of honoring Road Warrior Hawk.
Mm-hmm. When they put the action figure on the podium there, very poignant moment.
Hawk was the heart and soul of the Road Warriors. He's the guy that got them clicking, and he was the energy. Animal was the big bruiser. But yeah, I thought they did a great job. I mean, Paul Ellering, he's a
precious Paul Ellering,
brilliant speaker. I thought some of the stuff he said was pretty funny. I saw Frank kind of tilt his head like a dog that heard a high pitched sound, trying to figure out what he was talking about. But yeah, I mean, you know what? It was great. It was good times.
It was surprising to me how great Bullet Bob Armstrong's speech was. Only because I've not been exposed to Bullet Bob, aside from seeing classical and historical videos.
80% of the audience had never been exposed to Bullet Bob.
Absolutely, but he delivered a promo that was very noteworthy, and I said, wow, I didn't realize this guy was such a great talker.
Of course, our good, close personal friend, the Road Dogg, B.G. James, comes out with Brad and Scott Armstrong and, inducts their father into the Hall of Fame. And then Bullet Bob comes out, and absolutely great speaker. He was funny, he knew how to bring the audience in. I was very, very impressed with Bob Armstrong. What a showman.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I always love it when the bow tie gets wrapped around the 2x4, which we've seen a couple of times before, but Hacksaw Jim Duggan, very gracious, obviously very well known by the WWE audience that was in attendance there. The Godfather wasn't there.
I said the hose. Ho. Not.
Oh, not whores, ho.
Yes.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan, a fun speech, fun opener, if you will. Yeah. But really the main event and the moment of the night would have to go to Shawn Michaels, who delivered an emotional speech after being emotionally introduced by Triple H. And then we would see a bit of a surprise at the end of that with the reuniting of the Clique. Kevin Nash,
minus
X-Pac.
Scott Hall.
Absolutely. Kevin Nash, X-Pac, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H on the same stage. Probably really for the first time since that incident at Madison Square Garden, on TV.
Easily.
Well, even though that wasn't televised, but there was footage of it.
Mm-hmm.
A very special moment and a closure evening to the career of Shawn Michaels.
The speech was interesting from Shawn Michaels.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Was it breathtaking?
No.
Okay.
It was
It's
interesting.
another Seinfeld reference you wouldn't know.
There was just the one thing for me that really stood out throughout the whole speech was in the end. When he said it's a brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody can stab you in the back except one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Wow! What does that say about Shawn Michaels?
There you go, reading again.
Reading,
He
was
said,
right there.
he said more to the effect of, it's a brotherhood, or we're all family, and we may stab each other in the back, but we'll never let someone else stab each other.
That's not how he said it.
It was more
No,
along those lines.
Only we can stab each other in the back.
Do not sit here right now and try to audition for Glenn Beck's job by overspinning everything.
Hey.
He's fired, you'll be fired.
Stop. Listen. The boys, I talked to some of the people after the Hall of Fame, and that is the one thing that stuck out. Like, how many people did he stab in the back, and now he was saying it's okay?
Is it or is it not true that doing that kind of thing puts you in great favor with the powers that be in WWE?
Well, yeah, of course, but how huge of an admission is that? And nobody caught it. Nobody caught it.
Well, everybody caught it.
But
Well,
no one's commenting on it.
well, they don't know, like.
That's why we're here talking about Shawn Michaels stab people in the back.
In my opinion, they should really stop broadcasting any portion of the Hall of Fame. Maybe give it 5 minutes on Raw. Because that 1 hour of television, and people are talking about why they have Drew Carey on there. Well, duh, they
Frank's
have an agreement.
uncle.
They've
Wow.
got to...
Listen, you got to go to PWRshow.com and look at Frank and Drew Carey. It is his uncle. You can tell by,
We met Drew Carey, spent some time with him. While he may have gotten booed out of the building because, in my opinion, wrestling fans can't appreciate the, whether it's him or Snooki, the reason that they're a part of these type of events. I get it, but can't appreciate it. He didn't care. He actually made fun of it. But later on, talking to him, he took a picture with and signed an autograph for everybody who asked, and there were dozens of people around him. A very gracious man who was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
and I say Frank's uncle. It's really not, but they are related because I guess like the great grandmother is a Cosentino. Amazing. I mean, when you look at the picture of the two, even the same glasses, absolutely tremendous. Good for Frank. Finds family in Atlanta.
They shouldn't broadcast it because it's so chopped up. It just doesn't. You don't have the same impact as you do live or when it comes out on the DVD.
Yeah, I guess we watched it Monday, and there was some good stuff that didn't make it.
Yeah, I actually watched the first 5 minutes. I can't do this because there was so much cut out that you knew was there that was taking away from it just having been there live.
Yeah, like when they cut out Shawn Michaels saying he stabbed people in the back.
Right. I switched over for the last 5 minutes, actually. I was watching the final Ring of Honor on HDNet, which was a great program as well. Switched over for the last 5 minutes, and because I wanted to see if they were going to actually broadcast the Click reunion. Because remember, last time Triple H and Shawn Michaels were together, which was at the Tribute to the Troops taping, they never aired that.
Right.
So I was intrigued as to whether or not they would, and they did.
And they did.
And they drew about 3.5 million viewers, I think, for that Hall of Fame induction ceremony. A great night of TV on Monday night for WWE as the USA Network is
long night of TV for us, though.
After being at so many wrestling events over the course of the weekend, it was excruciating on Monday night. And that Raw didn't help, by the way. That Raw didn't help, by the way, because I'm still trying to find out what, other than that one big thing, substantial happened on it. Well, two big things. We'll get to that. Okay. WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony, still a great thing for them to do. The awkwardness of the night, though, was everyone trying to not refer to wrestling as wrestling, but refer to it as sports entertainment and sports entertainers. And
Superstars, the Universe, Road Warrior Animal, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Abdul the Butcher. That is not in their vocabulary.
No. And you could tell. And I'm not faulting them, by the way. Now, I'm not faulting anybody, but you could tell it was just sort of awkward for them to revocab those statements.
We saw Animal on Sunday morning, and just, a little ribbon here and there, just saying, wow, when did you ever talk like that? And he kind of rolled his eyes, and just like that's the new policy and whatnot, and that's the route they're going. But a lot of the legendary old-timers, they did struggle with it. And it just didn't fit with their speeches.
Understandably so, as well. When you come through a business for so long, We're going to talk about the new WWE later. You come through your business for so long referring to it a certain way, it's very difficult to relearn, especially at that stage. But that was the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony this past Saturday, past Monday broadcasting. A good event, and one that really does need that HBK kind of talent to get you in the building. Otherwise, no offense, but it's a little long.
It was very long. I mean, you know what? I was happy to be there. I was happy to be a part of that moment with seeing guys like Road Dogg up there, with his father Bullet Bob, and then seeing Nash and X-Pac, with Shawn Michaels, and seeing the legendary Road Warriors inducted. Even Sonny looked amazing, but it's like, oh my gosh, It was a long weekend, though.
It was a long weekend. That was only the middle of it, though.
And that was right after we had spent, 4 hours at Stats.
True.
Linda had so many phone numbers, it was ridiculous.
WrestleMania 27, Sunday night, this past. Georgia Dome, Atlanta, Georgia. 72,000 people, nearly 72,000 people in attendance. A surprising start to the show as we would learn that Daniel Bryan and Sheamus would be battling for the United States Championship in a lumberjack match, in the dark match, at WrestleMania 27.
Who did they piss off? How does DBD and Sheamus, two young studs on the roster, wind up in the dark match that then becomes a battle royal to be won by the Great Khali?
Mm-hmm. And the belt not on the line. We were mistaken. We thought there was a lot going on. There was confusion, including Teddy Long, the SmackDown general manager, making the United States Championship matchup a battle royal.
But let's face it, the reason they do that is so everybody gets a WrestleMania payday.
Right. No, David. Everybody got screwed because it was a dark match. I mean, come on. Get with the program
But
here. Have you read what's going on out there? Everybody got screwed.
It'll be on the DVD.
Oh, they got screwed. WWE doesn't care about those people. Why would they just put them out there to give them a payday? Come on now.
I hear you.
That's what they're saying out there.
Hey, it'll be fine,
Could have been a great matchup, though. It was muddled in mud, though. The actual matchup that happened in the Battle Royal that would follow. But we would see, or I think we're going to see more down the road from that story of Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan.
Sheamus.
The opening contest, actually before the opening contest, an electrifying, I almost said that without a pun intended, now I intended, I guess, video package airs for The Rock, who comes out and gives about a 15-minute discussion to the arena.
And that's why Sheamus and DBD got bumped.
You sure it wasn't the 13 minutes of Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole?
Okay, both of them together. 28 minutes of Lawler and Cole and The Rock. I could have watched 20 minutes of The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. But yeah, how about The Rock? I mean, he came out there and got the yabba and the daba and the whole thing going.
And the place, it was, again,
right
sitting right there.
Here, yes.
Sitting right there. And I understand that may not have translated well onto TV. Keep in mind, you've got 72,000 people in a building. That
It was so loud that the glasses fell off the shelf at the bar in the suite. The building shook that
I
much.
thought Frank knocked those over.
No, that was later in the night.
But, well done. I mean, The Rock is the guest host. It was placed very well. It was before the show actually opened, before pyrotechnics, video package, all that stuff. Very, very well done. And as you said, getting it all in and, teasing again as to he's got some unfinished business with John Cena. And we would see that come to fruition later on.
The Rock's a star.
Clearly.
Absolutely. I mean, the charisma did a great job. I was surprised he opened the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you figure he'd come back out for a bigger pop later on in the night.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this. Nobody, and I mean nobody,
The hero means nobody?
got a bigger pop than The Rock did Sunday in the Georgia Dome.
True.
Hands down, nobody.
The opening contest at WrestleMania 27, which is less of an issue, I think, than most people are making of it out there, including that one. Alberto Del Rio versus Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship. Edge would retain, and Alberto Del Rio's time apparently was not this past Sunday night.
It wasn't, you know what? If I really would have been thinking about it, when I DWH The Miz, I would have known that they're not going to have two heel champions leaving WrestleMania. Right? You know what? Del Rio will be the world champion within the next couple months. I want to be a bit surprised.
Spoiler alert. Extreme Rules For the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, it's going to be Alberto Del Rio versus Edge in a ladder
match. That's where Del Rio wins. It's in Miami, right?
Extreme Rules, I am unsure at this time where it is.
It could be Miami. Or it could be Tampa, one of the two. But
Somewhere in Florida.
I really believe that Del Rio's going to walk out the champ.
How about Del Rio's entrance at WrestleMania?
It was tremendous.
It was actually almost awe-inspiring. And that's what's great about WWE and WrestleMania is they really pull out all the stops as far as people's entrances, their ring gear, their attire, their presentation of the show overall. Just so well done, and I think Alberto Del Rio's entrance would show you just how awesome they could do with what they had set up that night.
An intern Cal pointed out to me that the house in the background of Del Rio's entrance is the Tough Enough house.
Was it?
Yeah. How about that?
Interesting. We talked about Tough Enough last night on the radio show, so...
But you already knew that.
And if you haven't found that, be sure to subscribe to us on Blog Talk Radio or on iTunes or right here at pwrshow.com or on YouTube to catch all the latest ESPN radio offerings. The match itself, Alberto Del Rio versus Edge, you predicted that it might be one of the best matches of the night. Did it live up to those expectations?
I thought it was solid. It wasn't the best, but I thought it was very good. For me, I had no problem with Edge beating Del Rio. He beat him clean, 1, 2, 3 after the spear. The one thing I didn't like is that after he already beat the guy, they then go and trash his car.
But when it was an old Rolls Royce that pulled out, didn't you sort of know?
It doesn't make a difference.
It didn't make a
He
damn bit of difference.
already beat the guy. You didn't even give him a chance to get his heat back. It would have made more sense for Edge to hop in the car and steal it and drive off with it instead of beat it up. So now you beat the guy and you beat his car. What's left for him? Now he's a double defeated man. It's the little things.
Yes, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
The next matchup, speaking of the little things. Rey Mysterio going up against Cody Rhodes. David Hero, would you like to share with the world the results of that matchup?
Honestly, I missed that one.
You are a lying ass. You did not. You missed it and be the booker. You missed it and be the booker. I kept trying to steer you. You saw my subliminal messaging. I kept trying to say Cody Rhodes wins, Cody Rhodes wins,
Here's the part for me that was very frustrating. You were buying Ray drinks on Saturday night. It was intentional to make him off his game.
Ray likes multiple colors, right? So every martini was a different color.
Yeah. You know what? Good for Cody Rhodes. I'm glad he got his big WrestleMania victory. How was it followed up on Raw the following night?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
It's all about the progression.
Remember when
there was no progression. Why did he have to lose on Monday night in front of a bigger audience than WrestleMania?
His loss on Monday night makes no difference in the world.
Yes, it does.
Makes no difference in the world.
It
Cody
erases the WrestleMania
Cody
victory.
Rhodes, as grotesque as he may be at this time, defeated Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania 27 in front of 72,000 people.
There's no build to him. There's no build for Cody Rhodes to go to the next level now. He jobbed on Monday.
It wasn't even his show. He was just making a special
Doesn't
appearance.
matter.
He wasn't ready.
It's
He had to
Raw.
wear somebody
It's the
else's ring gear.
flagship show.
On SmackDown, Friday night, tonight, you will see Cody Rhodes again in a role of dominance over the SmackDown roster.
Fine.
Why can't you just give the
Because
kid credit?
nobody
You like
watches
calling them kids.
SmackDown.
Why can't you 3 million people a week watch SmackDown? What do you mean, nobody? 3 million people is
watches it.
nobody?
No.
Why can't you give credit where credit's due? Cody Rhodes defeating Rey Mysterio. You said it
He
wouldn't
didn't
happen.
beat him. It's fake. It was booked that way. He didn't beat him. Come on. Let's see how he gets over it. If he can progressively get better. Ray did him a favor by laying down. And let's not forget he hit him with a plastic mask.
Ray used the mask. Cody
Yeah,
used
but-
the knee
but-
brace.
whoa,
It's all
whoa.
fair game. What the hell? Use the belt.
What the hell used the belt?
What
Okay,
the hell?
Bobby.
Use the belt. Yes.
All right. You know what? Let's see in 6 months from now where Cody Rhodes is.
In 6 months from now, will you be then ready to admit that Cody Rhodes is a frickin' star?
If he does something amazing from now until SummerSlam, absolutely.
It's on record, ladies and gentlemen. He still won't admit it now. Cody Rhodes, who defeated Rey Mysterio, a former world champion, at WrestleMania 27, won't admit that Cody Rhodes is a star and has made it.
Vince Russo's the former world champion. What does that mean? David Arquette, former world champion.
Can I finish?
Can you?
Come SummerSlam, when Cody Rhodes is on that card too in a high-profile
Opening
matchup,
match against Ted DiBiase.
David Harrell will admit that Cody Rhodes is a superstar. Or, I predict you're going to try to spin your way right on out of that one too.
Hey, when I'm wrong, I admit I'm wrong.
You're wrong right now. You're not admitting you're wrong. Did you pick Cody Rhodes to win that match? Did you book Cody Rhodes to win that match and be the booker?
The first time, yes.
No, you didn't.
I did, and I changed my mind.
You
Went
did.
back to Ray, and
You
went back
did.
to go,
So you
back and
flip-flopped.
forth.
You flip-flopped.
Like your party. That's what I do.
I'm not the one who shut us down.
Uh-huh.
Cody Rhodes!
We're still
Ha-ha!
Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes
Next
defeated
match.
Ray. I'm very proud. Look, it's rare, David Hero, that I can get support such stars and just know, right here, deep
Yeah.
down in the depths of my soul, know that they're going to be something big. It happened with the WWE Champion. It happened with Cody Rhodes. I'm really fearful of
Cody's gonna
endorsing
be
anyone
something
else.
big, he's got to grow like 3 or 4 more inches.
Why are you so wrapped up in size?
Because when was besides Rey Mysterio, when was the last time there was a world champion under 5 feet tall?
Chris Benoit was short.
But he was a wrestler.
Cody Rhodes isn't.
Chris Benoit was believable.
I'm not comparing the two.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm saying and
you
Cody.
said Chris Benoit. You better go to the next match before you have an aneurysm.
Cody Rhodes is a star, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm very proud of young Cody, who walked into the Georgia Dome and defeated Rey Mysterio 1, 2, 3, and has a victory over WrestleMania and only his second
Why does he have
WrestleMania
an
match
e-race?
and his first singles match on a pay-per-view ever, by the way, happened at WrestleMania 27 and he beat Rey Mysterio.
It's the first time he's been on
One of
it.
your guys, Wade Barrett, Sheamus, somebody else would have beat Rey Mysterio, you'd be talking about how great that was.
Well, yeah, there's
You'd be
6
blowing the
more
roof off this
studs.
place.
They're believable. Next. It's match 3.
It was Big Show teaming up with Kane, Santino Marella,
That was
and
match
Kofi
3?
Kingston going up against the Core.
Honestly, that one I didn't miss. It happened so quick. I think I was refilling your Jameson glass.
The match went less than 2 minutes, I believe, which is substantial when we talk about the Cole Lawler match, which went 13 minutes, which is about 12 and a half minutes too long.
That match felt like an hour.
It did. This match was a punch to the face from Big Show to Heath Slater, who, by the way, is my next endorsement. Mark it down, right? All you people out there watching, mark it down. Heath Slater this time next year, he's got the Damian Nelson endorsement.
Good luck, kid.
Sounds eerily reminiscent of what you told me about Cody Rhodes and The Miz.
No, I just said the Miz sucked, and Cody Rhodes sucked. I never said that. I never said Heath Slater sucked. All right.
Why so short on this matchup?
Because they had to fill time. I mean, they had to save time. They had more Rockism promos coming around. The Rock had the most face time out of anybody on the entire show.
Probably.
He 15, 20 minutes to open the show,
Mhm.
another 7 minutes in promos throughout the show, and then 15 minutes to end the show.
Randy Orton versus CM Punk. Randy Orton victorious in that matchup. This David Hero, I thought, was a tremendous match.
It was a great match. Those two guys worked hard. They're probably 2 of the better ring technicians on on both rosters. I was just hoping CM Punk was going to get the win. I really think his time has come. CM Punk has lost every big match since losing to Jeff Hardy at SummerSlam, or since he beat Jeff Hardy at SummerSlam.
Do losses matter to CM Punk, though? Or do they make him that much more
Well,
of his
right
character?
now they don't matter, but eventually people are like, he never beats anybody. He's almost like Roddy Piper.
He never what?
He never beats anybody.
Oh, I've heard that before.
You know? But Punk has been in matches with studs, not 64-year-old Hall of Famers.
Or John Cena, John Morrison, or
You
Randy
know.
Orton.
So he's going to have to get that big win soon. But overall, that may have been the match of the night. Taking, of course, away from the Dead Man and Triple H.
CM Punk channeling Bret Hart, going to a little bit of vintage Bret Hart with that figure 4 on the ring post. And a great display by both of some rarely seen moves by both of them, including
Angle slam.
Absolutely, which Kurt Angle was taking a lot of credit for, by the way. And a great RKO from Randy Orton out of nowhere to end the matchup.
Well, the thing I didn't like about that was that CM Punk was smart enough to reverse the first RKO.
Why wasn't he?
To then he jumps into one. You know what I mean?
I hear you. And then the spectacle would begin. Michael Cole versus Jerry the King Lawler. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the special guest referee in this matchup. Jack Swagger in the corner of Michael Cole. Booker T and good old JR. JR back at the broadcast booth for WrestleMania 27, just as we'd hoped and asked for. It happened. He joins Booker T and Josh Matthews at ringside for this matchup to call the action. David Hero, as you said earlier, this one went entirely too long. It felt a lot like Vince McMahon and Bret Hart last year in Phoenix at WrestleMania 26.
It was actually worse than that.
But this was bowling shoe ugly. And no one expected a Matt Classic, let me tell you that. But sometimes you will endure these type of spectacles so that, because you know it's going to be 2 to 5 minutes. And that's okay.
There was no payoff.
Well, there was, I think.
Stone Cold Steve Austin was left holding a beer can in his hand throughout the entire match.
Better than having his thumb somewhere.
Exactly. I felt bad for Austin because one of the most dynamic and charismatic wrestlers of all time
Thrown into that crap.
thrown into there where he's just standing there. What does he do? I mean, it's like, that's not Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then for Michael Cole to get any heat longer than 30 seconds on Jerry Lawler is abso-frickin-lutely redonkulous.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So,
well, Michael Cole starts the match off in the coal mine. Jerry Lawler and Jack Swagger actually going at it for quite a bit until Cole is pulled out of the mine. This match, again, as I said, goes very long at this point. Swagger gets stunned. Lawler hits the fist from the top rope, and then Lawler applying the ankle lock. Stone Cold stalling, and, then things get a little weird because we get an email from the general manager. Josh Matthews goes to read it exactly like Michael Cole does, and I quote included. And Matthews getting the stunner, which then opened the door. It opened the door perfectly. Booker T gets in the ring, does a spinner-rooney, which was great, by the way. Opens the door perfectly for the broadcast team of Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross. The payoff for this match to finish out WrestleMania.
The payoff should have been Jerry the King Lawler pile-driving Michael Cole. That's what should have happened.
WrestleMania record books show Michael Cole with a victory over Jerry the King Lawler because the GM reversed the decision.
Amazing. Not only did he have to go through that abortion of a match, but then he has to have a check on the L column.
There was a place for this match on this card, but there wasn't a place for all that time this match took on the card. But don't you think they had somewhat of an obligation, at least in their minds, to give this one some time because of the stars that you had involved?
No, not at all.
Stone Cold Steve Austin?
5 minutes.
The 2 matches now that Austin has refereed at a WrestleMania have had taint all over them.
Yeah, Brock and Goldberg, but that match was done so Austin could stun both guys.
Was that a good match? Refresh my memory.
It wasn't. It was okay. Both guys aren't great pro wrestlers.
Brock Lesnar?
Well, he's more of an amateur wrestler.
Brock Lesnar is a show. Brock Lesnar is an amazing
Goldberg's
physical
not going to
specimen.
sell for Brock Lesnar.
Not even used cars?
No, not even that.
Snooki, Morrison, Trish Stratus, Lay Cool. Vicky Guerrero involved. This one was another quick one, but Snooki surprising a lot of people with her athleticism.
She was booed from the time she walked down the aisle.
It's a long rant.
Until she goes on to do the
Flippy
Snooki
floppy
flip,
thing?
yeah. Huge crowd pop. And then it's over.
Shouldn't it have been?
Wow. I know why she got the victory, but wow.
But if anyone's asking, if you didn't pick up a newspaper or didn't go to yahoo.com or AOL.com
But even
or anywhere else during the week and see the Snooki Mania coverage, then you don't understand business.
But even on the limo on the way to the airport Monday morning, it was all over the radio. Snooki at WrestleMania.
Right, absolutely. That's the reason for it. And this one was done very well because they kept it short.
Thanks be to God.
Now, if you're a John Morrison, if you're a Trish Stratus, if you're anybody else involved in that matchup,
Dolph Ziggler,
if you're anyone else involved in that matchup, how do you feel?
they got to help.
It doesn't matter how you feel!
Really?
Let's get them back for the Cody Rhodes hate.
I wasn't hate. I was just being real. You want to be real? Next.
Triple H versus The Undertaker, David Hero. This match, everyone looking forward to all night long. Will the streak go 19-0, or will Triple H make it 18-1? While he would not be successful in those efforts, he would actually lose to The Undertaker by tapping out in what was a unique ending to a match that saw pedigrees, tombstones, and chokeslams.
Chair shots.
A chair shot to the head, by the way,
Yeah.
for which they were fined.
Yes. Really? How much could you fine them to where it actually would hurt them?
When we talked about this matchup in Be the Booker, we said what? Lots of false finishes, great athleticism, great story to be told in the
and
ring.
it was a great
and they
story.
delivered all of that.
It was a great story. The finish was weird because Taker had him in the triangle choke for it seemed like forever.
Mm-hmm.
No mortal man could have lasted that long. So that's where I think something may have gone wrong because Taker was legitimately carted out after the match.
And it may have been a result of that tombstone pile driver.
Which looked really stiff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where we were sitting in the suite, I was like, wow. You know, even Road Dogg and X-Pac popped, you know, like, oh my God, you know, like, did they break his neck? But when he was in the submission for so long, it didn't make sense,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And then all of a sudden he taps out, which was, you know what, kudos to Triple H. He's only tapped a handful of times.
Right.
And
Last time, I think, to John Cena at WrestleMania 22.
right. And you know what? Great match, great story. Match of the year, maybe not. But I was entertained by it. Because there were times I'm like, oh my God, is Triple H going to win?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there was that doubt I had, but
And that's what's great about the match.
yeah.
Now, it's unfortunate, though, The Undertaker seemingly legitimately injured. Keep in mind, though, most matches, big-time matches that Undertaker comes out of nowadays, there's some kind of injury.
Yeah.
But, you know, the ending scenario, the ending sequence of this matchup was scary at times because he not only got carted out, but got driven out and had a lot of attention to him. And they did an abrupt ending to that match, if you will, and then hopping into the celebration pyrotechnics,
Right. And then,
which was uncharacteristic of the way they've done it in the past.
When we were sitting there, and everyone thought I was kidding, I'm like, are they really taking his pulse?
Yeah.
Everyone laughed. Oh yeah, they're taking the dead man's pulse. I've never seen the techs run down there and check someone's pulse before like that. So something was legitimately shoot wrong. And when they put him on the cart, you can even watch how Triple H was looking at him when he came out of the ring, just staring like, you know, are you okay? Are you all right? Whatnot. It was scary for Taker.
The next matchup. It was the main event of WrestleMania 27, ladies and gentlemen.
Brutal. That match sucked. You cannot tell me it didn't.
Clearly, you thought I was going back to the matchup with Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler,
No,
but in reality,
no,
I'm talking about the matchup for the WWE Championship, where the WWE Champion, The Miz, successfully defended his championship against John Cena. A feat that most of you did not think could happen. A feat that did happen this past Sunday at WrestleMania 27. Twice The Miz retained his championship, by the way, as the match first ending in a draw and then being restarted by The Rock. And while there may have been a rock bottom involved to John Cena, it didn't matter. At the end of the day, the 1, the 2, the 3 in the middle of the ring was The Miz over John Cena with a W in the record books. David Hero, The Miz, retains the WWE Championship in this main event matchup at WrestleMania.
I called it, didn't I? Didn't I say it?
You did. You saw the light a couple weeks ago.
I didn't see the light. I just knew where it was going.
Can you see the light?
And you know what? Good for Miz. Unfortunately, it took The Rock to beat him.
They didn't take The Rock to end the match on a draw. You said that Miz had to beat John Cena, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And Miz beat John Cena, right?
Kind of. He had another assist.
The draw was not an assist. The match initially ended in a draw, which means John Cena did not beat The Miz.
When has The Miz beaten somebody on his own?
What does that matter?
Matters a lot.
To you.
Yes.
Doesn't matter to me.
Because
A win is a win. Jesse the Body Ventura said it best. Win if you can, lose if you must. Always cheat and never get caught.
The Miz won. I was happy for you. The celebration was absolutely obnoxious, but you had your moment.
It's a party of two.
Good for you. It was a party of two. You and the bottle of Jameson. You know, but, boy, The Rock, with the assist to The Miz.
After The Miz successfully retained his championship.
Yes, he did by double count out.
Thank you.
Which I thought was amazing how nobody left when that happened, because everybody knew that the show was
Oh, it was so obvious. So obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But it had to be, didn't it? Because you needed that moment at the end of WrestleMania.
Okay. It was a sloppy match.
I'll have to review the tape. I have not had the chance to watch it on as far as its visual presentation, so I cannot judge that match.
The PWR show universe knows it was a sloppy match.
They're a galaxy.
Galaxy, universe, millennium.
Black hole?
I wouldn't go there.
I'm missing like Larry King. I can't judge the match. I've not yet seen it.
You were there!
No, I saw it. I was busy. You know, I was popping bottles and talking to people and
Getting phone numbers.
confirming that, you know, making sure everybody knew that this is the way it was going to go. I knew The Miz was going to win. I mean, really, why did I have to watch the match? What the build-up it didn't matter to me as long as The Miz won. I can't help it. I can't help it that John Cena's 5 moves of doom could not carry The Miz to a good matchup. The Miz tried his best to make John Cena look good, and he just couldn't do it. I mean, he tried. He tried. It takes 2 to tango, and only one could tango in that matchup.
Yeah. The match still sucked. It did. If The Rock wasn't there to save the pay-per-view, people would have complained even more than spending $60 for that debacle. Come on, you know it. In your cold heart of hearts, you know it's true.
Are you done?
I'm finished. I got nothing left.
WrestleMania 27 overall, worth the price of pay-per-view? Yes or no, David Hero?
No.
Really?
No.
Really?
Really. $60. No.
That's WrestleMania!
Doesn't make a difference.
It makes every damn bit of difference.
Was it worth it for you?
Absolutely.
Take out The Miz and Cody. Was it worth it?
The spectacle of WrestleMania is enough for me.
Okay.
I'd order WrestleMania 11 again.
Rewind the tape, amigo. You said the Lawler Cole match sucked.
Yeah.
You said the Big Show core match was under 2 minutes.
I said it was a little unique.
You said Snooki sucked.
I didn't say that.
Yeah. It was
Hey,
rough.
Triple H Taker,
That was good.
CM Punk, Orton,
Solid.
Rock's involvement,
Tremendous.
Miz retaining.
Eh. It was like watching 4 hours of Raw.
Cody Rhodes beating Rey Mysterio. Hey, but wait a minute. Here's what we didn't talk about with pertains to Cody Rhodes and Rey Mysterio. That was a good match.
It was a very good match. Not worth $60. And I'm not hating, okay? I'm not hating.
You're certainly not appreciating.
Well, no, I'm not, because $60 for that. It's 4 hours of Raw.
It wasn't 4 hours of Raw.
It was.
The spectacle.
Damian Nelson.
72,000 people.
Damian Nelson.
The atmosphere, the energy, The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock was worth it.
JR back on the commentary.
So-
Jerry the King Lawler.
And how do they bury Jerry
Snooki.
Lawler the next night? They spray barbecue sauce all over him.
JR was going to kick Michael Cole's ass.
He was hot about that.
There is absolutely no doubt. I mean, he was on fire, not just his left eye.
You know, it's like, wow. Who wants their clothes Lewinsky? You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry?
Stained.
He did not have sexual relations with that woman,
Right.
Ms. Lewinsky.
Okay.
I think it was worth it,
Okay.
in my opinion.
And that's all that matters.
How about you talked about our party at Stats on Saturday. We want to thank Stats for their hospitality, by the way. A tremendous place, one of the top 5 sports bars in the country. And they were great to us, along with the almost 200 of you that showed up to be a part of that. But the predictions, how dead on were some of those fans? And I'm surprised, to be honest with you. I know I've been doing a lot of work over the last year and a half, but I'm surprised how many people were behind The Miz.
Why? They hate John Cena.
That wasn't why.
The Miz is something different.
He's
And
something special.
Obviously, they like you.
Well, I mean, I'm a likable kind of guy.
Yes, you are.
I'd like to read something for you here.
Okay. And you quote?
You just ruined it. You just absolutely ruined it. What the hell is going on with you?
Like I knew. I don't get any of this pre-match or pre-show stuff.
Just yesterday, WWE making formal some rumors that have been going around out there about their rebranding.
Yeah. They do it after WrestleMania because then everybody would crap all over it.
Dated April 7th, 2011. I'm going to read this to you in its entirety because there's some great takeaways in this. And I quote, "To better reflect the company's global entertainment offerings, World Wrestling Entertainment Incorporated announced today a new business model for future growth, including formally rebranding itself WWE. Two key components of WWE's brand expansion will be the active pursuit to acquire entertainment content companies and the outsourcing of WWE's core competencies, television and film production, live event production, and licensing. As part of the new business model, the company will also focus on the development of new television projects, including scripted, non-scripted, and animated programs, as well as the launch of a new WWE network in the next 12 to 18 months. The first new program of the brand expansion is Tough Enough, and that debuted on the USA Network on Monday. And to quote Vince McMahon as part of this statement, this press release from World Wrestling Entertainment, from WWE, the new business model of the company better reflects what WWE is all about, being a global entertainment company, stated Vince McMahon, chairman and CEO. WWE. We will always be loyal to our core business that made WWE a globally known entity. However, the future of WWE will be the addition of new entertainment content opportunities beyond the ring. World Wrestling Entertainment is no more, David Hero, and the WWE is born."
Do you know why?
Why is that?
Because they can't get World Wrestling Entertainment in their Twitters. It's almost 140 characters right there. Makes perfect sense.
A lot of hubbub about this, a lot of discussion about how dare World Wrestling Entertainment, who got the F out a few years ago, now get the wrestling out of their title.
You know what? He can do whatever he wants. And you know what? That's why he does it. Because he absolutely can.
He said it in '97 right in front of your screens. He knows more what you want than what you want yourself.
And you know what? Because we talked about it with, some of the sports entertainers, and they can't believe it themselves. Now, if TNA is smart,
there we go. Here's the golden moment right
Okay.
here. Here's the golden moment.
They can say they are.
Repeat that statement, that qualifier.
If TNA listens to me, if they're smart, they're going to put the wrestling back in TNA.
We are wrestling.
Yes.
That was the best tagline they ever had.
Yes.
Capitalize on this. Now, from a WWE standpoint, I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant. They are marketing the brand WWE as an entertainment entity. It's what they've already been doing. Let's not get too wrapped up in this. It's what they've already been doing. The wrestling is secondary to everything else. The wrestling is their core business, but it's secondary to everything else. They present spectacles. They present entertainment. And they present action-adventure series. They present divas. The wrestling is secondary. And I still say, you don't tune into WWE to see great wrestling. If you do, you're flawed. You don't do that.
You tune in to see Alicia Fox.
Absolutely, and things of that nature. You don't tune into WWE to see great wrestling. So while they should be paying homage to wrestling and its heritage, which I think they do, this move to being just WWE, which was previewed in their annual statement, by the way, which was released a couple of weeks ago, this movement to being WWE, the entertainment company, is a stroke of brilliance for their future growth, most importantly, the WWE TV network.
And that's where they're going. They have so much programming now at their disposal, it's going to be ridiculous. And it's far easier to get WWE and the TV Guide channel thing than have World Wrestling Entertainment.
Now they're looking to, what did it say here? They're looking to acquire entertainment content companies. We're not for sale. I'm just saying.
Are you kidding me?
We're not for sale.
Absolutely we are.
No, we're not. No, this is not Dr. Detroit. It is not all for sale. Not even my mother.
You're making a huge mistake. Big, huge.
Well, we're open to discussions.
Thank you.
I'm open to discussions. You might want to reread that contract. It's ironclad for
Yeah,
sure.
it's guaranteed. I get paid regardless. I could pull a Goldberg and just let them buy me out too.
The uproar. Wrestling is no more. Valid, invalid.
You know what it is? After a week, no one's gonna care.
I don't believe that to be
They're
the
gonna
case.
forget. They will forget. Trust me.
More was included in this statement. We talked about it as it was released yesterday. We talked about it as it was breaking news on our 540 ESPN radio show, which if you haven't already, be sure to download and take a listen to. Just if nothing else, to hear Linda. Okay?
Yeah.
Social media diva.
What about me?
Wait till he's in pretty good.
Amigo, I am the breath of
I'm
fresh
black.
air. Step on a duck?
John Cena versus The Rock has been announced for WrestleMania 28. David Hero, we talked about that again last night, but
Flat.
this is, I think only because they thought they were going to see something that night. They thought they were going to see something Monday. But let's look at the announcement and the strategy of 1 year out, announcing your main event for your biggest show of the year.
It makes sense. Rock has some big movies coming out. He can talk about both. Keeps WrestleMania in the spotlight. It's going to be a huge match if they book John Cena properly for the next year.
John Cena gets hurt. Rock gets hurt. There's a lot of risk here.
Well, a huge risk, but they haven't sold any tickets yet either. The fine print card is subject to change.
How do you build this for a year? How do you build it for a year?
vignettes, little digs, little shot.
It's been so intense for
You
the last
don't
several
think
weeks.
The Rock is gonna have little shots at John Cena on Entertainment Tonight?
God, this is brilliant. Brilliant move by WWE.
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be huge. It's in Miami, The Rock's hometown.
How will the fans
Rock
react?
will be in the Hall of Fame next year.
How will they react? How will the fans react? Because The Rock is dissing wrestling again to go do
No,
movies.
he's not.
That's what they think.
He's not dissing anybody.
That's what some people out there think, David Hero.
Anybody who thought The Rock was going to come back and wrestle full time needs to get their head examined. He gets $20 million a movie. Anyone that faults The Rock for making $20 million a movie, you're an idiot. That's a lot of cheese. Seriously.
Grated, shredded, or
Any way you want at $20 million. It can be brie, it can be Munster, hell, string cheese for everybody. Really? Anyone offers me
There's a
$20
lot-
million?
there's
to do
a
movies instead of sitting next to you? I'm sorry, I'll come by via satellite once in a while, but $20 million?
there are a lot of people out there who are up in arms about this. The Rock he's only doing this for himself. He's only doing this to put his movies over. Which, by the way, in this entire run,
He's
hasn't
gonna
mentioned a
promote one
once,
movie,
and he's
not
got a movie
once.
coming out in the next couple of weeks.
Yes.
So I think that tells you a little bit about that. You can tell when The Rock has been participating in WWE events, there is a sincerity there that he wants to give that one last match. He wants to give back to the WWE fans, and he's going to do so at WrestleMania.
Against John
And you
Cena.
can't fault the egos there. John Cena versus The Rock is today's Hogan Flair, which we never got, remember?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. It's not as big as Hogan Rock.
It is not. Well,
No.
that wasn't big until the bell rung, though. It was big.
It was
It
huge.
wasn't monster until the bell rung.
For me, it was Monster.
Before the bell rung.
Yes.
Before the bell.
It's the biggest wrestling star of all time against the most electrifying. You know what? I feel bad for Austin. He's kind of getting screwed in the whole thing. It's because he can't wrestle anymore also.
Austin said just yesterday that he could wrestle full time if he wanted to.
I doubt it.
You know,
Why would he want to wrestle guys like Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase?
Well, you can wrestle The Miz and be made into a star. I will give credit where credit is due.
The Miz couldn't lace Austin's boots.
I'm sure he could.
No.
Is there some kind of special knot?
Amigo, let me tell you something right now. Stone Cold Steve Austin beat up some of the most legendary wrestlers of all time. Triple H, Undertaker, Kane, Mankind, The Rock, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall. The Miz is nowhere in Steve Austin's league.
Check my voicemail. Oh, you're done? I will give credit where credit is due. That credit goes to John Cena for this past Monday night on Raw. Giving The Miz all the respect he deserved and encouraging the WWE Universe to show The Miz that same respect.
What's he gonna do? Really? Gonna go out there and bury the guy? He has bigger fish to fry. He's got The Rock in a year from now. Does The Miz have The Rock in a year? No. Who's The Miz's next opponent?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter if he's the flagship of the company.
He's the must-see WWE champion.
They need a strong babyface to now work with The Miz. Is it Randy Orton? Does Orton now chase him for a little bit? I don't want to see Miz against Cena again next month at Elimination or Extreme Rules.
We'll see what happens. What a week. What a week it's been. And our sincerest thanks go out to all of you who we met in Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to be doing the same thing in Miami. Sweet and Sexy returns next year, David Hero.
Oh my God, really?
We are
South Beach?
already in discussions with the stadium, Sun Life Stadium, and we will be releasing that information as soon as it's available. But let's make one thing crystal clear. I am not permitted to go to South Beach while we're in Miami. I will not make it to WrestleMania.
That's fine. You can stay in the room if you
Oh,
want.
you guys need me there. Believe you me.
Well, you can stay in the room. I'll be in South Beach.
Oh, really?
Why not?
Huh. Now, I wonder if they'll have red or white wine.
Probably both. Just don't mix the two, right?
I want to thank all of you. It was a great week, tremendous week in Atlanta, Georgia. You had a conversation with Roberto Rodriguez, and I thought he was
Ricardo
gonna,
Rodriguez.
Ricardo Rodriguez. What did I say?
Roberto.
Where did I get that from? I thought he was going to punch you right in the mouth for parodying his
You know what? He thought it was cool. He thought we took it a little too far, and I said that was your idea. But yeah.
I may as well have an inferno match with somebody. All the heat you put around me.
But you know
Every time I turned around in Atlanta, I was answering somebody's question
oh
about
my
how
God.
I buried
and
them
Chris
or how
Masters again was hot at you.
It was fine. We had Kyoto right there. It was fine. Took care of it. We're good.
Kyoto was passing the nuts around, wasn't he?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Television. Next week, David Hero gets owned again, just like he did at WrestleMania when Cody Rhodes and The Miz won. He gets owned again in the 2011 Pro Wrestling Report Draft. Do you have your names ready?
Yeah, but when's the coin flip to see who gets the first pick?
That's going to happen. That happened last night on radio. You don't remember? It's happening
No.
this upcoming week on radio.
Thank you.
Can you do a coin flip on the radio? On the radio!
You know what?
Oh!
We can even do the coin flip here right before we do the draft. I'm that confident.
Screw it. Let's do it right now. Who's throwing the coin? We need a coin thrower.
Well, I got some coins.
We need a coin thrower. Where's our intern Cal? Intern Cal, can we see you here in Studio B for a minute, please?
Like he's gonna listen to you.
Why wouldn't he? You're not flipping the coin, and that coin needs to be inspected by the officials before it gets flipped anywhere, because you probably walked around with a double-headed, double-assed coin, something.
That's hurtful.
There's lead in it. We'll do it next week. Ladies and gentlemen, for David Octavius and
Heads.
Tiberius Hero,
Heads.
this is
What does everybody
Damian
want?
Nelson saying thank you for tuning in to the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime TV. We'll see you next week.